Hello, everyone. On this Monday, 30th June 2025, today is the last day in the month of June. I am Madam Anireju Erewa. Whatever time you are right now, I greet and welcome you to my channel, Anireju News. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Mete wa Biafra de no. Mete wa Biafra de no. Asina he yi tibi megi. Mete wa Biafra de no. Akane hiora. Dule o. Mete wa Biafra de no.
British. We have been hearing so much about British, but British have been scamming Biafra long before 1914. British has been scamming Biafra resources. Yes, long before 1914. That includes the British gimmick scheme, Frederic Lugard legacy in two northern states of the conned OIC Nigeria. Not in the UK, though, that Frederic Lugard served, or in Madras, India, his birthplace. Why is that? Let's find out. But first, why did Frederic Lugard and the British concubine woman, Flora Shaw, got married in the first place? They got married on 10 June 1902, the year Frederic Lugard colonized northern Nigeria by military action and administration. Their marriage was not for love, but for a shareholder partnership interest in the British colonization of the Fulani North and the Yoruba West. Yes, because they colonized, they did all that. Okay. They became extinct in the UK since they had no children. They died childless in UK. Frederic Lugard was cremated at the Woking crematorium in Surrey, England. He died in 1945. Yes. You can go check all these things out. The informations are there. Okay. The legacies of Frederic Lugard in two Nigeria northern states was part of British hidden scams of Biafra resources. Scamming Biafra resources. All we hear about is the oil and all this, but also the British was also scamming Biafra resources hidden in Frederic Lugard legacy that they set up in 2 northern Nigerian states. Okay. I have 4 photos and 3 videos of British Fulani reckless abuse of Biafra resources. Starting with photo of where Frederic Lugard and Flora Shaw wedded in 1902. That is the photo when they wedded in Madeira, southwest Portugal, North Atlantic Ocean. Neither of them were born in Portugal. You saw the photo. 1902, the year that Frederic Lugard colonized the North. Okay. Why did the British not preserve a legacy for Frederic Lugard in Britain that he served? There is no specific historical landmark house named after Frederic Lugard in the UK. These informations are there. You can go check it. Being that he was born in Madras, India, and raised in England. And since they had no children, he became extinct in UK. He died childless and he was cremated. There was no record of what became of his ashes. All this information, they are there online. No, go check. It's there. It's there. Okay? All right then. Also, there isn't a legacy house named after Frederic Lugard in India, his birthplace. All right? So now you are hearing. Okay then. But there are buildings named after Frederic Lugard in 2 northern OIC Nigeria states, namely the building in Kogi State that is a part of the government house, and the Lugard Hall in Kaduna. Okay, let's take a look at photos of Frederic Lugard legacy buildings the British government set up in Kogi State and in Kaduna, the uses and the functions. So you can see the scamming. British has been scamming. Okay, we continue. That is photo of Lugard House that British set up as part of Kogi State government. It is also known as Lugard Rest House in Lokoja, Kogi State. It has different buildings for different uses. That building you are seeing, and you saw Frederic Lugard picture there too, inscribed there. So the buildings have, there are different buildings for different uses. So let's see what it is. So if you saw the photo. One Frederic Lugard residence retreat house. That's one building. Frederic Lugard residence retreat house as the first Governor General of Northern Nigeria. Then a rest house for Frederic Lugard and his wife, Flora Shaw. Then a hotel. That building, that photo that you saw, the building. Okay. Let's see photo of Frederic Lugard Legacy House, the British setup in Kaduna. That is photo of Frederic Lugard Legacy House in Kaduna. It is also known as Lugard Hall, established in 1914. You all know what that 1914, what it means. Okay. By the British colonial government to be the Lugard Kaduna Legislative Assembly building. That's that picture that you're seeing. The building design was brought by Frederic Lugard himself in 1914. That photo you are seeing. As imitation of British House of Commons and British House of Lords, the third of its kind in the world. Yes. Okay. So you saw the photo. Okay. We'll continue. What are the uses? It is divided into 3 sections, namely, the Lugard Memorial Chamber, to be known as the Northern Council of Chiefs, the House of Assembly, the Assembly Service Commission that also houses a kitchen, 2 dining halls, and a health clinic center. Check now they here. All these British setup, these are all Biafra resources. Hidden, nobody knew about. Okay. It has a health clinic center. Yet, our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen incarcerated in the DSS custody, Abuja, since summer 2021, was denied health treatment. And the resources is coming from Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu, a Biafran British citizen, was denied health treatment. He's been incarcerated in DSS. Okay. What does this tell of British Northern relationships in the current OIC Nigeria? What does it tell? Let's see a video of how Frederic Lugard and Flora Shaw conned the scamming Nigeria. Let's see.
What happens when you force over 250 ethnic groups, dozens of kingdoms, empires, and cultures into one country without their consent? This is not a hypothetical question. It is exactly what happened in 1914 when the British colonial government stitched together two vastly different protectorates and named it Nigeria. But why did they do it? Who made that decision? And why is it that 100 years later, Nigeria still struggles with identity, unity, and trust? Stay with us while we tell the story of how Nigeria was born not out of love, but out of convenience and control. This is the story of the amalgamation of Nigeria. Long before Nigeria became one country, it was many, and not just culturally or linguistically. Politically, economically, and administratively, the land we now call Nigeria split into multiple territories, each with its own leaders, systems, and identity. To understand how and why Nigeria was amalgamated in 1914, you first have to understand what existed before it. On this channel, Back in History, we take you back in time to the events that took place in the historical past. In the north, the British controlled what was known as the Protectorate of Northern Nigeria. It was largely Islamic, dominated by the powerful Sokoto Caliphate before colonial conquest. This region was vast, arid in parts, and filled with empires like Kano, Katsina, Zaria, and Borno. These were strong kingdoms with administrative systems and tax structures in place, not just local towns. But the British had a problem. The region was quite expensive to run. Revenue was low, trade was slow, and much of the North's wealth was tied up in a complex system of indirect rule through emirs. Colonial officers had to tread carefully, often leaving local leaders in charge and avoiding conflict with Islamic law. The region needed funding, and badly at that. Meanwhile, down south, it was a different picture altogether. The Protectorate of Southern Nigeria, which included parts of the southeast and south-south, was bustling with commerce. Palm oil, rubber, timber, and more commodities, and the British made good money off the exports flowing through ports like Calabar and Bonny ports. Unlike the north, the south was more directly governed by the colonial administrators, and local rulers had far less autonomy. And there was also a distinct cultural divide. Southern Nigeria had been influenced by Christianity and Western education, especially in cities like Lagos, Ibadan, Calabar, Warri, and Port Harcourt in present-day River States. Mission schools flourished, elites were forming, and newspapers were circulating. There was a growing middle class, particularly among the Yorubas and the Igbos and the Calabar people, who were becoming vocal about colonial issues. And then there was Lagos, a city-state of its own, technically part of the Southern Protectorate.
You have seen the video and heard that Nigeria was born out of British convenience and control from problems that British had after it colonized the North. British didn't have the money to run the North. It was quite expensive to manage. The revenue was low. Trade was slow. And much of the wealth was tied up in a complex system of indirect rule. And British needed funding and were careful not to be in conflict with the Islamic laws. Shall not they hear? You people heard it in the video. Okay. You can now see that Nigeria Foundation was indeed British scam to harm and victimize Biafra, such that after 1970, history was erased from the British-owned Nigeria education curriculum to hide British years of shameful atrocities it committed to deform Biafra. Okay, we continue. During the 1967 to 1970 genocidal war that the British fought for Gowon, Nigeria, Ojukwu of blessed memory communicated a message to Gowon that as you Fulanis and Britain are killing his people unprovoked, UK will fall. Someone greater than him will liberate Biafra. Ojukwu sent that message in 1968 to Gowon. That was the photo of Odumewu Ojukwu when he communicated the message to Gowon in 1968. You know, God sent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to fulfill the promise. In one of Binta Yanko court, kangaroo court, that she keep dragging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu after the extraordinary rendition, keep dragging him to come to court. Nothing. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told Binta Yanko in her court on 19 March 2024 how Nigeria violated his rights. He also asked Binta Yanko, what happened to the treasonable charges brought against him? What happened to it? You know, the late Buhari. And also, he told Binta Yanko that he will defeat Nigeria. Yes, he told Binta Yanko that. Let's hear and listen to the voice video. You won't see him, but you will hear the communication of that discussion where Nnamdi Kanu was questioning Binta Yanko in March 2024 in her own court.
My Lord, please, I cannot go into trial where something so blatant as a violation of a constitutional provision will be allowed to happen in your court. The law says, the Constitution says, you must give me adequate facilities. SSS is not adequate facility. It's there.
Mr. Kanu.
Then, my Lord, please make people can just something called house arrest. I can say somewhere, maybe, I don't know, it's in Bangladesh or maybe in Kubu. House arrest. It's not everywhere.
As long as it's not my house.
I can be in a house arrest. It's not everywhere anymore. It's a political matter and they know they're wasting my time here.
Have you made any such application?
We will make it to them, my Lord. And please, my lord, please, there's a big problem which you're overlooking. What happened to reasonable felon? What happened? No, but you are dragging me all over the place. The court, everywhere. Now they come, prison, the whole world. You want to overthrow Buhari. Where are those terrorists now? They are gone. They are just destroying my name for no reason. Because I will not allow to try my fault, because I cannot be relevant into a trial without my right being protected. It cannot happen.
Okay.
An application will make today, my lord. You can send me in, you can put me in a house and somewhere in Abuja. I don't want to go to this one in this case. Finish. I'm going to defeat them in this court. I will defeat them here, in front of you. The way they ran away from peaceable family, they ran away again from terrorism. It's now the victim is terrorism. From where is terrorism? From their witness statement, is there terrorism there? There is nothing.
I have not read the alternative, but it's not like see, there are many things that you find that I don't need to read now until that's the last one.
You have seen and heard the voice, audio, video. Let us also see aftermath video of Nigeria media interrogating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu following the Binta Yanko Shokoloko Bangoshe court appearance on that same day.
So what is your application before the court?
Is seeking for a non-custodial arrangement by the court.
You said house arrest.
Exactly. I don't mind house arrest because I'll defeat them. In this court, I'll defeat the federal government of Nigeria. Yeah. The whole world will see it. Where is the treasonable felon? Where is it? All these years, journalists are shouting treasonable, treason. What's the treason today? It's gone. The same way this terrorism charge will go. I'm thinking of another capital offense that can charge me with. Maybe, I don't know, impregnating the wife of somebody. I don't know what other thing they're going to charge
Are you
me.
saying you are innocent of all these charges?
The federal government, they know I'm not guilty. My only guilt is that I'm fighting for my people. And I will fight for them.
Okay, sir, last
For
question.
justice and fairness and equity everywhere.
Last question. Has your family been able to...
Anybody using IPOB to commit crime is a criminal. It's not part of this family. Our family is based on 4 cardinal points. You must be without fear before your enemies. You must speak the truth always, even if it leads to your death. You must help the poor and those who cannot help themselves, and be of good character that God may love thee. That's who we are.
I've seen the video and heard Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say that he had lumps under his arms because he was denied health treatment. And yet, Britain have a legacy for Frederic Lugard with health clinic center in Kaduna. Okay. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu talked about IPOB 4 cardinal points, which are: you must be without fear before your enemies. You must speak the truth always, even if it leads to your death. You must help the poor and those who cannot help themselves, and be of good character, so God may love you. That is who we are. Our family is noble. You heard it in the video. Well, with the current developments now of the court trial, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is scoring big victories in his trials. Yes, He's scoring big victories. Barrister Aloy Ejimako tweeted on Friday, 27 June 2025, of the Kenya High Court rulings against the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Barrister Aloy Ejimako boldly commended Professor Lumumba, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Kenya lead counsel, who worked closely with Barrister Aloy Ejimako, Kanuta, and Prince Emmanuel Kanu for their tenacity and fraternity, and Kenya Justice Wita for the judicial courage. Yes, that was yes, Africa wheels are turning in a positive direction of the news of this judgment. It's showing that the wheel of Africa is turning. Yes, so kudos to Professor Lumumba, Kenya lead counsel for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Justice Wita, the Kenya trial judge, for the justice ruling handed to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. This should signal clear message to all internal and external enemies of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and enemies of the struggle to restore Biafra. It should signal. Yes. Congratulations to Barrister Aloy Ejimako, Kanuta Kanu, and Prince Emmanuel Kanu. All praise and honor and adoration to Biafra, merciful God, in another victorious justice ruling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's going to be victory all the way. Yes, so it's going to be victory all the way. Yes, it's going to be. The time is long overdue for British and the OIC Nigeria to remove their tight grip holds of Biafra. Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. Yes, free him unconditionally. Yes, sir. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Anireju News. If you would like to donate to charity humanitarian, you can do so on my Cash App. You can also visit Anireju News online shop to order for t-shirts, pens, mugs, and souvenirs. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to bring to the attention of the world that British scamming of Biafra resources was long before 1914. Nnamdi Kanu scores big victories, and it's long overdue for British and OIC Nigeria to remove their tight grip holds of Biafra. The world should please support Biafra exit from the British Islamic Conned Incorporation, Nigeria. Thank you.
Mete wa Biafra de no. Mete wa Biafra de no. Asina heri you begi. Mete wa Biafra de no.